Hello there, everyone. My name's Ayumu Kagami, and this is another one of our fantastic podcasts, and also the final one. Now, I'm just kidding, because it's actually going up on April Fool's Day. So, joining me today, we have the wonderful Pick.
Hello.
We have my little sister.
Hi.
She's not actually my little sister. We have the Walrus himself.
Hello, I'm Blam121, aka the Almighty Walrus.
And we have...
The Duck.
And Johnny.
Okay,
Hi.
I was about to say.
I'm an unspoken man.
Is Johnny the Duck?
I took his
I
spot
am a
from my
duck.
Doo-doo.
I took his spot from my friend, the Duck.
So, for today, we have some different types of things we can talk about today. We're going to start it off with some events that have been going around on YouTube, specifically the H3 versus Leafy thing. Pick if you want to elaborate further on that.
The basic gist of the story, the Reddit thread that Gigi sent in earlier, if you might provide that in the description of the video, it provides a very good thesis of what's going on. I keep saying but the basic thing is that Leafy, some sort of reaction video person, made a video making fun of a person's YouTube channel, and that person actually turned out to be autistic. And someone pointed that out to H3H3 because H3H3 is a similar type of channel, but they've exposed people like that before for being scumbags or stealing content or whatever. So they made a video about Leafy without letting Leafy know, despite professing to be friendly with Leafy. So this has devolved into a kind of both YouTubers taking shots at each other kind of thing.
So, with the reason why we're bringing that up is that's just one of several incidents that have happened. I know Onision has fought with other channels. I believe it was Sky Does Minecraft. It was a Minecrafter when Onision made a comment saying Minecraft was, I think it was like for kids. I do not have the exact words on it, but they fought for it. And what I wanted to bring up was why a lot of the times there's a lot of, it feels like unnecessary fighting to us. Obviously, if your content is insulted, you can take it personally. So I wanted to have us all weigh in on our opinions on the type of situation that it is, and we'll start with Gigi.
I don't know much about. I was hearing this from like yesterday, and I haven't done much about it. But
How do you feel about YouTubers just being at each other's throats? And a lot of the times it almost seems like, and not that they all do this, but it almost is like they send the community out to attack the other ones. It could just be the community trying to defend the person they enjoy, which is admirable.
yeah,
But a lot of the ways it does come across negative. How do you feel when it's actually directed, when they're like, go attack that person?
that's really stupid. If it's between you two, it should be between you two. Be diplomatic. Be professional about it.
Oh, hang on. There is one detail that I neglected to mention that is kind of important. After Leafy's video was made, a bunch of Leafy's followers went and made death threats to the dude, and he posted a video where he was visibly crying, honestly upset about the whole thing.
So
Nice!
with that, it does look like it looks more like a direct attack. May have not been Leafy's intention. Not knowing Leafy, I can't say that for him. I hope it would not be. Bleh, any final thoughts to think about this?
This all seems like a huge clusterfuck. It's just not really good on anyone's terms.
Final thoughts, Johnny? Final thoughts,
thoughts.
Johnny? Okay. With with
Thank you, Johnny.
there being some more recent issues going around with communities, just problems overall. Overwatch has had an issue brought to light more recently. And Pick, if you'd like to elaborate.
So, I am not the forerunning expert on this, as I am not very interested in Overwatch. The credit for finding this story goes to Isla, who pointed it out to me. But apparently on the forums, someone saw a pose of a character named Tracer, who wears a tight yellow jumpsuit thing, where she's showing her butt to the camera. And someone took a lot of offense to this, saying how it was sexist and promoted stereotypes. So Blizzard, the company, bowed down to this one person to removed the pose.
And with the pose, it's standing there. One hip is a little higher than the other, and she's looking over her shoulder. Not even that sexualized of a pose.
The pose
It is worth noting that there
shoulder.
is one other female character that does this, and 2 males, at least.
There's literally 3 characters who show off the crotch.
Mm-hmm.
They're all guys, by the way.
So, Gigi, being the female in the group, how do you feel when a character is sexualized or over-sexualized in games? Or in media in general?
Being over-sexualized, I feel that's over the top. Just being over-sexualized, it's just hyping up the crowd in a negative way. It's making the females feel more angrier about it because they're being over-sexualized. Obviously, not all women look like that. And all men are going to expect, hey, they're going to be like this.
From a male's perspective, how does it make you feel when you see women overly sexualized, Johnny?
Some characters are made to be sexualized, but being as someone who's had a background of having to defend and help people out during a situation where they're just assumed to be used, it's not okay because they have to. It's assumptions. It's a lot of assumptions, and that's a big problem.
On lighter notes, Ruby is actually going to have its first season put in theaters. Rooster Teeth has made a lot of headway with the series. I'm sure Monty Ohm would be very proud to see where it's gotten and how it has gained the exposure that it has. If you don't know, Monty Ohm was the one who initially worked with Ruby on the character models. And I believe it was directing it, correct?
He is directly responsible for the concept of the show and the direction it is currently taking.
Mm-hmm.
So they're having season 1, which is all 12, 13 episodes of it. So they're having the entirety of season 1, roughly 3-ish hours, I believe, into movie theaters across the country. I think that is really awesome to see them come from just a show on the web to something that you can actually go to the theater, get some popcorn, and sit there with your friends. I think that's awesome. What
or
kind
your
of
Dakimura.
What with your perfect with these kind of changes? And what are your thoughts on with Ruby being out in the theaters? How do you think this could potentially impact other potential series? Blah.
With the release of...
Blah, your microphone cut out.
It did? When?
Yes.
Yeah, it just cut out.
Immediately.
He said,
Okay.
he said with the
Okay,
release
well,
of...
With the release of Ruby on the in theaters, I believe this sets a precedent for other, YouTube-based shows, like I don't know, other YouTube-based shows.
Same company, Red versus Blue, is on Netflix,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes,
It's
it
on
is,
Netflix,
actually.
and it's also being broadcasted on a TV network now.
Oh,
So,
that's awesome. I didn't hear about that.
Rooster Teeth setting precedent for YouTube, just like showing everybody how to be good at life.
Not necessarily a precedent, but they are opening the door for shows of their kind, which is animated series, as opposed to Ayumu, you said it was like Smoshed, Annoying Orange.
Yep.
Annoying
Smosh.
Orange, Breadwinners.
Smosh has done. They have a show now. I believe it's specific to YouTube, if I remember correctly. PewDiePie has on YouTube Red. He has a show, Scare PewDiePie. A lot of animated shows have managed to kind of make their way off of the Annoying Orange. I believe it's called Breadwinners. It's about two ducks.
Yes, it's also awful.
And Fred have made it onto there. Those three, I believe, were picked up by Nickelodeon and are of lower quality. One of these shows, one of the shows I would really like to see kind of hit the stage. I don't know if I've ever talked with any of you about it. Are any of you a fan of Adventure Time?
Yes. I think I know what you're thinking of.
With Adventure Time, the creator, I believe Pendleton Ward, he has been working on a side project called Bravest Warriors, it has the same feel that Adventure Time does, but it has more mature elements since it's online, not restricted to what Cartoon Network has available for it. So I'm hoping that shows such as that are able to expand further and get taken a little bit more seriously, because one, that show has a good precedence with the creator already working with Cartoon Network, and the more good shows that come from online, I believe it can help people take it more seriously. We've all seen good animations. Do you guys know the Make a Mon Out of You? The Pokemon Digimon reference to Mulan.
Nope, never watched it.
No.
I've seen the SFM make a man out of you, though.
Well, with that, I'll have to show you guys. It's very good animation. And it's done by maybe a couple people versus a network releasing much lower quality, it seems. Hopefully this will set the standard up a little bit more and we can get higher qualities. Johnny, do you know of any animated things that have been stellar that you have seen online?
There are some animators out there that I've seen that are very good, and then you see publishers that release content on a regular basis that are of much lower quality. But these animators also take less time to be able to create this content, even though it's part of a company. It's not as good.
With a lot of them, like Tobuscus has had animated videos. I believe a lot of his have been done by Gonzo SSM. Starbomb, several of their videos have been done by Aaron, also known as Egoraptor. And they have very good animation in them. Not sure if those gentlemen would like to do that as their profession, but the amount of work that goes into it, starts to encourage others to also work harder at it, I believe. And with that, they're just on YouTube. YouTube isn't a real job. Whenever I talk to people personally, I would like to make YouTube and streaming my job. I'm sure Pick shares that opinion with me. Or that dream. How have people reacted to you when you've told them that that's what you would like to do?
They're like, that's dumb. That's not a real job.
You're a stupid kid.
So, bleh. Going off of what they said, what's a real job?
10 to 5
9 to 5.
desk job. Same thing.
That's
1 hour difference. Ugh.
Oh.
So
Dying.
I hate that the feel that the pretend job has, but a football player, that's a real job. A comedian, that's a real job. An actor, that's a real job. What YouTube is stand-up comedy, or stand-up commentary. If you, especially with Twitch, it's all live. If you mess up, you can't back out of it. You're stuck with it. I believe it's the unknown aspect to it that a lot of people feel nervous about and don't want to elaborate further on. And with there being a lot of people who are insulting it, it starts to fall on deaf ears, and it doesn't, help it hold in anymore. I also feel with too much of a single type of game coming out, it kind of gives us that negative precedence towards it. The game, as of late, there had been a massive amount of survival sandboxy games. What are some other games you've seen that have been like, the genre has been overdone? Pick.
Everyone wants to say like first-person shooters, but that's not necessarily true. There have been a lot of the sandbox games. Oh, MOBAs.
Yeah, there's been a ton of MOBAs.
So, what do you feel, GG specifically, how do you feel it impacts it with there being a ton of the exact same game coming out?
A ton of videos of the same thing. It gives viewers more of a variety of who they want to pick and choose of who to watch. But there is that aspect of it being too overwhelming to see. Like, all of your favorite subs are spamming out this content, and it's overwhelming your sub box.
And it, having to pick and choose who you're watching is always a frustrating aspect in it. You want to show support to all of them, but how many times can you watch The Walking Dead in a row? Not much changes from it as it goes on. The next segment, I leave to pick to start us off with.
What is it?
The Tree of Life.
Oh, okay. So, I was cruising Steam, looking for games, as I normally do. And I saw this thing called Tree of Life, and I watched some of the videos, and it looks like Japanese Diablo 3. And me being personally a large fan of Diablo, I was playing it earlier today. I was very interested in it, so I checked it out. It looks real neat. The paid early access starts today, or this morning, and the public access comes 1 month after this, so April 29th.
Today being the 29th right now.
Yes.
And what are you guys' opinions on the early access if you pay into it? When it's going to be a free game, and there is up to a $50 purchase on it. I believe the minimum is 10-ish.
5.
5? Okay, it's 5.
I really don't like the pay for early access kind of thing. It's too dangerous, like, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's risk versus reward. That's the problem. This is what happened with Q-Board was a game that released, and it kind of fell on. It was so hyped up in the community, and then the developer kind of dropped it. No one knew what happened, and then out of the blue, out of nowhere, the developer comes back and starts kind of trying to release content again. Was it too late? Was it too little, too late for the developer, or is it still something that you could forgive about?
With the delays in games, I understand that things can always happen in your lives. Personally, too long for content releases can kill a game. Why would I go back to the game that I kind of liked. I've now found something I really like. I got burnt out on what it already had. That personally happens to me in Minecraft. I go through like a month, 2-3 months of I can really enjoy it, but then I take off like a year of playing it because to me, not enough had changed in it. With the more recent combat update, I have not played that yet. Maybe that has been a huge, significant change, which can impact it a lot more. And I know mods change the game infinitely. Personally, I'm not a mod guy, because I don't get them to work properly, because I suck. And instead of playing Minecraft, I just spend all my time playing Stardew Valley.
You can't blame them, though. It's a good game.
I don't have a life anymore.
You have Stardew. You don't need a life.
Stardew is your life.
It's your life.
Why
Do all the
don't
things
you love
would do
me?
in your real life in Stardew. Grow a weeaboo tree, make melon or duck jelly.
I love
Duck
duck
mayonnaise.
mayonnaise.
Girlfriend.
It's yellow.
Oh wait,
I keep trying. Why does she
can
like
even-
raw quartz, but not refined quartz? I gave you the best, and you hated it.
You can even feed your favorite waifu rocks.
Yay!
Just like real life.
Please
Well,
don't actually be.
But
This
for
is not
real,
how
she
cannibal-
eats rocks.
How? How does she do that?
Tentacles?
Very carefully.
Tentacles coming out of her mouth. You see that purple hair? It is the perfect segue to massive tentacles coming out. Confirmed.
segue.
That's a
I don't
segue!
know.
She rides
I can't
around
argue with that.
on her magic Segway eating rocks.
Made of her hair.
Yes, with her.
She's like Philia. No, she's like Philia. She turns into a ball of spiky her own hair and then just rolls around like Sonic.
And
Apex
Philia's
will
from
beat you
which
now.
game, folks? Let her know in the comments below.
It's Skullgirls.
All right, there's your answer. With Stardew Valley, it's a very light game to play, very similar to Animal Crossing and
Or
Harvest Moon, where you can just pick it up, play it for a day, work on your farm. It's so weird. I'm just doing stupid chores the whole time, and I can't stop playing it. I'm just
I
doing
mean, that's the
chores.
charm about Harvest Moon games. You get to just disappear off the face of the earth for a while, fish, plant stuff. It's just, a break from reality.
I'm 31 hours in the game. I'm only 1 year into it.
A
Oh,
break
there
in
goes
reality.
gravity. Oh, so gravity.
Oh, there goes Mom's spaghetti.
So, on a completely different side of the gaming world, Layers of Fear is now out in its completion.
Woo!
So,
Too bad it's not.
who here likes horror games?
I do.
I like horror games.
Who
That's
wants to
alright.
play more of them?
No, thank you.
Oh boy!
Yes.
So, with Layers of Fear, it actually is out on consoles as well.
Is
Did ya
it?
look at that? It's out on PS4,
Oh.
if I remember correctly.
AKA
Now you're
not
making me
Xbox.
doubt
Got
myself.
It's for Steam, PS4, and Xbox One.
Oh, I was
Oh, really?
right.
it. Turns on Xbox One to check.
So, thoughts on Layers of Fear?
It's a boring game.
Wow, shots fired immediately.
I mean, isn't Layers of Fear kind of like multiplayer? You become a monster and
No,
then the monster chases you down?
no. That is no. That is a
Layers
different
of
game.
Layers of Fear is like the Silent Hills alike game.
Ah, okay.
It's
It's
the one where
it's
you're a
about being
painter diving into
it's
your
about
own
being-
madness.
Yeah, it's about being an insane painter.
Okay.
That sounds interesting right off the bat.
Is it an indie game? If it's an indie
Too
game,
bad.
if it's
Too
an indie
bad.
game,
Go ahead.
if it's an indie game, that's very interesting because that's showing that Xbox and PS3 are more willing now to put out the indie games onto their consoles and give more of a risk, because you haven't seen that a lot with the PS3, or Xbox 360 and the PS3s. They were more isolated to big name titles.
PlayStation did that. Xbox did start to open up with the indie scene with the arcade, or what was it?
Xbox Indie Arcade.
Yeah, okay, Indie Arcade, yes. So they did actually. Super Meat Boy is probably like one of the best examples of an
out
indie
of
game.
5
Maybe
million
Battle
other
Block
games.
Theater?
Battle Block Theater is also. Let's actually go to their first
Or that,
one.
the
Castle
Castle
Crashers.
Crashers or
Yep.
whatever. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! So good, so good.
There's a few good indie games, but it's just like the entire indie arcade is just nothing but drivel.
But they are absolutely expanding more now, and it's good to see that with more variety, kind of blending. Because with console before, it always like, hey, it's a AAA title or it ain't a title. Now it's more kind of like PC, where there's some more indie games, which is good. With Layers of Fear, you are the artist falling into your own madness. It's kind of a walking simulator, very similar to Amnesia, where combat is not your friend, because don't exist. It's puzzles and horror elements with it.
It's
Does that
puzzles and running away.
does that hinder the fact of it being a game, such as less gameplay? Does that hinder it? Visual novels and some of the Telltale games have extremely minor actual gameplay elements. I say Telltale because I don't know how to classify those.
We'll
They
get
have-
to that later.
They have very little actual
Gameplay.
gameplay involved in them. It's basically all cutscenes. Go find an item, more cutscenes, now make a choice. Are those
And now
games?
mix those items together.
GG.
Ben,
Are
did you
they
do it?
games?
Yeah. Because you're impacting it by going through the game. Like, making the smallest decision can change greatly or not that big.
And Johnny, what are your thoughts on the Telltale games?
Telltale, when they publish their quote-unquote games, it's good content. They provide such a story that it kind of drags you into it in such a way that you just want to learn more about the characters and how their environment is. This is the same thing with the Walking Dead games. I loved them because their character design was spot on with every one of their games, and that you felt kind of connected with them almost. I have not seen any of their other games, but I believe they were also very good.
He's got a point there. The Walking Dead games made you feel for like Lee, the main character. It made you like understand what he's going through, how he felt in certain situations like that.
And Pick, what are your thoughts?
Personally, just for whatever reason, I've never considered visual novels like actual video games. I consider them a medium like books, actually. And I know that you can influence the outcome, and that technically makes it a video game. But I've always considered it more of a medium like books. Same goes for the Telltale games. Yes, Blaine?
I didn't actually know we were talking about the. I didn't know we were talking about that yet. I
Were
thought
we?
we were talking about Walking Dead.
Well,
That's
that's a
both.
Telltale game, right?
Okay, it's
Yeah.
both. So, visual novels are books, not games. All right, thank you. Next discussion.
Are visual novels only a book, though? Just because it's a visual novel does not mean there are not further elements to it.
Well, I didn't say it's just a book. I said it's a medium like a book.
I said it was just a book.
Yeah, that's what Pick didn't
Shut up,
blended. With it, Fire Emblem is a visual novel. It has all the visual novel elements in it, but does that mean it's not a game?
But Ayumu,
There
you
are
like
the more
these gray ways?
traditional visual novels.
Like dating simulators.
A lot of dating simulators. Katawa
Honey
Shoujo has that. I wouldn't say Honey Pop. That's just the Connect 3 game.
Yeah,
That
that's
has
true.
so few visual novel elements to it. I can't really call it one. Hatoful Boyfriend, so good. But there are a lot of really good ones. Usually in Japan, though.
Like Nekupara.
No, in Japan. They stayed in Japan. With that, a lot of the good visual novels wind up getting animes on them. Very similar to a lot of short novels and mangas can get an anime out of them. A good example would be Amagami SS. That got a visual novel out of it. Pick, what are some other examples that you may know of?
Fate Stay Night specifically was a visual novel first, then it was written into a light novel, then it was made into two anime adaptations, one in 2006 and one in 2014.
So it helps expand it. With the games, they more often than not have many rom-com elements to it, romantic comedy. Typically because that's where choices become easier. With things like Fate Stay Night, it's very action-oriented, which is awesome. Though I was not a fan of the first series, I am a fan of the action scenes in it. Those are good. I can't argue with that. And not only is it visual novels that can get them, sometimes other games wind up getting an anime based off of them. Who here knows of any games that have gotten a video game anime?
A video game based off a video game.
Devil May Cry? Was Devil May Cry an anime before a game, or
No,
It was
game
not.
first. Definitely game first.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it was definitely game first and then anime.
So
Speaking
you
of which,
fact-check
Devil May
yourself.
Cry has an anime now.
Has for a
And
little while, I
our
think.
spunky little female here's favorite fanfic man who's named after pants
Oh my god.
has
picked
some games. Those are weird pants. There are some sometimes the animes wind up getting games after them. Attack on Titan has 2 3DS games. Those are the only ones I know about specifically. Sword Art Online has some.
Yeah.
Johnny, put on the spot. What are some other
What?
anime video games?
I don't know any anime.
Being
video
our
games, sorry.
non-anime specific fan in the group.
Yes, Duck, I agreed.
Très bien. Très bien.
No, you are Duck. Come on.
Yeah,
Ah,
you
yes,
are.
sorry,
Again.
So, a lot of the times, animes are dependent on the source material they have with them, that being sometimes the genre and a lot of the times the overarching topic of it, whether that be with Fate Stay Night, a battle royale setting, rom-com, well, rom-coms being all about romance. One of the kind of iffiest topics out of it is ecchi/harem animes. Those ones are very hit and miss. JJ, what are your thoughts on ecchi and harem animes? If you have not heard about it, ecchi typically follows more fan service being sexualized characters, whether male or female, and harem, or reverse harem, is one guy surrounded by a bunch of women who are interested, or one girl surrounded by a bunch of guys who are interested. So, Gigi, you're on the spot.
I think my first, like, ecchi harem anime was either Ouran High School Host Club or Sword Art Online. I can't remember.
And how did you feel about it?
I I like those kinds of animes, like as like a spacer between. I watch a lot of action, gory, like stuff animes, so I like those little spacers of just funny stuff happening, like between animes or between episodes.
So, by any chance, could you have watched a swimming anime that's 100% off?
Free.
You?
I have watched it.
How did you
I
feel?
watched it within like a week or two.
How did you feel about the males being the ones who are overly sexualized?
Well, they have muscles and they're swimming. That was really it. I didn't see it as much of a fan service or over sexualized men. There was the girl in there in the anime, Gil, I think her name was. Yeah. And she obsessed over guys' muscles, and that was pretty hilarious.
So, with it being kind of it becomes overlooked a lot of the times with women with big breasts, so long as it's not terrible like High School of the Dead, because that's fucking stupid. Her tits cannot move faster than sniper fire. But when it comes to others where the women are more large-chested, sometimes guys just overlook it. We don't think about it too much. We're not going to look like the guys in Free, especially since I think it's very unhealthy to look like them. They have so many weird sharp points on their body. He's scary. Bleh, how do you feel about young men being overly sexualized?
Makes me feel tight in the pants.
Gross. But how do you feel about ecchi/harem animes?
I honestly don't really have an opinion on this kind of stuff.
And what about our little blue dude himself?
Sonic
he
the
has a lot
Hedgehog.
to say. I know that.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
My opinion on them, I'm gonna say right now, is a little bit skewed because I've only seen some of the better examples of harem and ecchi animes, but I love them. I think they're hilarious.
You're too slow!
Thanks.
Come on, step it up.
So, personally, I have seen many bad ones, like High School of the Dead. Was an Absolute Duo one that failed as well that you saw?
To me,
Absolute Duo had good action in it. I like that.
not
And-
interesting enough to take my mind off the fact that the relationship between him and the girl who looked like she was like 13 was really creepy.
I found it pretty funny.
I have not seen it.
I thought it was creepy.
Is he 16 or 18? Because if he's 16, that's not that big a gap.
16, I think.
It's just that she looks
She
uncomfortably
looks really
young.
young.
You'll be
Like, they
uncomfortably
really made her look
energetic.
young.
So, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of them. A lot of the times it seems like the easiest cash-in on them being mostly about the exact same plot points in them, especially when it comes down to the childhood friend being involved in them. The first love interest is the love interest who remains for the entirety of it. That becomes very tiresome because half the time they don't really fit together, but it's like, well, yeah, but the story wants them to be together. So, that's how we have to have these people together. And as our special treat, for next week, pick an anime, comment down below that is one of the more recent ones, and we can all do a little bit of research on it. those of us who are going to be in the next episode, and we will talk about it. We were going to be talking about some of the more recent ones that are going to be coming up soon. We have not had the time to sit down and prepare for those. That's why we're not going to talk too much about it today. But to wrap things up, we wanted to mix things up a little bit, and we're going to surprise everyone in the call with some questions. So,
I'm pregnant.
everyone here,
Whoa!
what would you pick for your stripper name?
Sparkle
The
dots.
Candyman. I had pink hair once.
All right, Johnny's the Candyman. You could suck on his lollipop. Bleh, what would your stripper name be?
Sparkle butts.
Sparkle Butts,
Okay.
all right. You smack that ass till glitter comes out. Gigi.
This isn't nice.
It's G.
Oh my god.
Wait,
Hey,
no,
G.
it's it's the G spot.
Can you make me a sandwich?
Oh, make it yourself.
Okay.
All right, no, you have to. Gigi, what would it be? You gotta come up with it.
Oh my god. Something that has to deal with Spunky. Because that's all I can think of.
Spunky G spot.
Spunky D.
Oh yes, the Spunky G. And pick.
Spunky G shot it. G spot it is then.
And pick. Pick. What would your stripper name be?
Blue Moon.
All right, I can see that. You only come
Yeah, I
once
mean,
in a
you're gonna
blue
show
moon.
You're gonna see 2 blue moons soon.
Ooh!
Blue balls.
Oh,
Damn!
I thought.
For my stripper name, I would be King Kong with the big dong.
That's actually pretty illiterate. I gotta admit, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Hey, it's got to roll off the tongue when they're rolling it on the. So, pick. What is your question to surprise us with?
Okay, so you know how twins have that like magical connection where they can feel when stuff happens to each other, right?
Yes.
You've heard about this? Okay, so a trauma, having a hymen broken, is a pretty big trauma. Do you think a twin would feel that?
Oh boy.
Bleh,
That would suck.
bleh, you're on the spot.
I plead the fifth.
Oh, bleh. You gotta
Big
answer.
fist.
Wait, you think they would feel it 5 times?
Yes.
Ooh.
Woof. God, I don't want
That
to be
would
twins with anyone.
hurt.
Whatever you say, didn't you?
Johnny, what are your thoughts? Okay, Johnny died. GG.
Oh my god, I hate this muting system. I'm sorry.
Johnny, thoughts.
On.
Okay,
Done.
GG, thoughts.
Thoughts on the twin thing?
Yeah.
Alright, if they had that broken, that would probably hurt. And then they'll be like, oh my god, my twin is actually doing it.
Like they're sitting
Wow.
in the next room over, they're hearing like thud, 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 and then like, ow, oh no.
Yeah.
And pick thoughts.
I think it'd be really awkward and embarrassing too. I think that's why we don't hear about it.
Johnny, now that you've heard it, thoughts.
That'd be really unusual. It's kind of like the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, where that like they kind of
I love
One
that
of them does-
episode
Oh,
where
yes.
Zach's hymen breaks. Oh, that's so great. And then That's So Raven comes in. And then Hannah Montana's there. I love Hannah Montana. My
Man,
thought.
Montana's hymen breaks.
Yeah, that was like 16
Well,
minutes.
Miley Cyrus does have an evil twin sister. Twin sister or twin cousin?
Wait, how could it be an evil when Miley's
She was
Miley?
evil.
Yeah, but Miley's Miley. Does that mean the evil twin's
Those
even
leave
eviler?
Riley alone.
He's the evil twin? Hillary
You
Clinton?
get the best of both worlds.
Oh my god, that's all.
My thoughts on it would be they wouldn't have to feel it. They're twins. They do everything together. Thank you, everyone,
Gosh darn it.
for being here today. I hope you enjoy this podcast. Let us know what you liked down below, what you would like to see differently. And don't forget, anime. If you guys post one, if there isn't one, we will come up with one. We'll try and pick one of them that applies to a large audience. And we'll have that
One Punch
ready to
Man.
go. No, that's
Okay.
too old now.
Erased.
Maybe it's too old.
We'll figure something out.
Consecutive normal punches.
There's
Persona 4
erased.
anime.
So thank you very
Mr.
much.
Phantom World.
Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. We will be back next week with another Kagacast. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Remember, hashtag Kagacast. Love you all. Long time.
Hashtag Duck Mayonnaise.
Hashtag
consecutive
yellow
normal punches.
duck mayonnaise. Ooh,
That's a cold hard
bye.
food fact.
Cool.